PSA Grading is expanding their reach, the empire, and all of their tentacles all over the galaxy.
Here they come.
Let's talk through this. What's going on, sports card hobby family? It's another day. It's another sports card video. I'm trying to get this one out like Saturday night. This is normally my Sunday video, but trying to get ahead of it because Sunday is going to be an absolute bear. My New Orleans Saints, please get a win against the lowly Carolina Panthers, probably the worst couple of teams in football.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
And we have got to snap a 6-game losing streak. So, thoughts and prayers up for the New Orleans Saints this weekend. Before I dive in, huge thanks to today's video sponsor, DC Sports 87. You've got cards to sell on eBay, but you don't want to pack and list and ship and do all the things. I just shoot a lot of cards off to DC Sports 87. They handle all the stuff. They actually have a package coming their way now, and it's easy peasy. Lemon squeezy? No, that's stupid. Also, today we're talking about PSA. If you are a new customer, never subbed with PSA, then take $25 off on me, SCD25 code at the shipping and billing page. Just plug in SCD25, $25 off your first order. You only need to send one card minimum. Try out PSA, $25 off. Hard to beat. And Hakes Auctions is open for business, the huge November auction. They got sports cards, but they got all the pop culture wickedness. If you haven't yet, you got to check out the new Hakes Auction. All right, I caught this yesterday. Ryan Hogue was on the PSA YouTube channel doing a Q&A, talking about all the new things that have come up for PSA. Now, it said that it was filmed going back to October 10th, so this is going back a few weeks as far as the information goes. But for me, I was just seeing a lot of this for the first time, so I thought, you know what? I am going to share this. The first thing that they were talking about that I caught in-store drop-off events. They did about 35 of these in 2024. They're planning to do, according to Ryan, roughly twice as many of these. And this is where they actually have PSA people, PSA employees that are in card stores doing a in-store where you can drop off cards. You don't have to put them in the mail. There's a lot of people that are a little finicky about putting especially expensive cards in the mailbox and hoping for the best going out to PSA. So they're doing more of these drop-off type events all around the country at local card stores where you can just go in, you can talk to PSA people, get an idea, hey, should I grade this, should I not? You can actually talk to the folks, and they're planning to do as many as 70. If it's twice as many as 2024, 35 in 2024, if I'm doing that math right, brain, please work, it's about 70 in 2025, so that's pretty big. Even bigger news, new office in Plano, Texas. So now they've got the West Coast, they got the East Coast covered, and now they've got the Central Plano, Texas. Oh man, so they've pretty much got all the bases covered as far as grading centers / distribution where they can easily, quickly ship and get cards in and processed. Man, if they've got 3 different spots in the United States where they can quickly process cards, to me, that feels like the wait time when you send in your package. I think the days are gone. Man, we have come a long way from, what was it, 2021, end of 2020, where PSA essentially shut down when Nat Turner took over and everybody was aghast, like, oh my God, PSA is closed for business. That's basically what it was because they had such a massive backlog in cards, 10 to 15 million cards in the backlog going back in time.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
And now you think about it, man, they'll have 3 places now where they can get orders, upload them into the system. It's going to be a lot faster, it feels like. Turnaround times are going to get faster for this stuff. And so, man, it is wild to see the progression in a few short years by PSA. And really, you got to give credit to Nat Turner and that team. Nat Turner knows how to run a business, man. He has been really, say what you will about the guy. Some people like him, some people don't, but he has completely turned around PSA. They set an all-time record in October 2024 with over 1.4 million cards graded. And that's before all of this news and all of these things that they're talking about doing. Here's another huge one. A Europe office. They are going to have an office in the continent of Europe. I didn't catch exactly where that was going to be. I wonder if it's going to be in the UK. It feels like there's a lot of trading card collectors in the UK if I'm comparing to other countries. Now, if you're talking about soccer stickers and stuff, then who knows? Maybe there's more people in other countries. I'm curious. I'm going to be really curious to kind of just watch that and see like where are those submissions coming from, try to figure out kind of what countries are grading cards. But I know for a fact that there's a lot of card collectors in the UK especially. Also, going back to that Plano office, one thing that they did say too, they're planning to have monthly drop off for dealers and partners there, and eventually customers. Eventually, it was talked about customers being able to drop off, and I wonder if that will be everywhere at some point. Will you be able to just drop off at these local offices? I could see that being something in the future where you can do that. It sounds like they're going to start doing that monthly, and Ryan said they want to have that weekly, where essentially you can drop off every week locally without having to put it in the mail. You just swing by and drop off, just adding to the convenience factor. They did fix that flow line case. So they got the new case that, remember that going back a few months where there was that little kind of that crease. It almost looked like a crack. I guess it was like the pressure, as it was being like pressurized or whatever in that new case that they made. There was some sort of a flaw in it. They pulled it, and now they've got the new one that is in, and it has been rolling out over the last couple of weeks. So we should not see any more of the flow line case stuff as we move forward. Speaking of new cases, new signed baseball. So the PSA DNA baseball autos will have new cases coming in 2025. It's pretty sweet, actually. So, it's essentially a PSA case, but it fits right around the ball really nicely. Awesome for display. And so that's something I'm sure, I know a lot of people have got signed baseballs, a lot of collectors for sports memorabilia. And so moving forward, you will be able to have a specialized case for those. And again, just for display purposes, if you've got kind of that same case and they've all got their grades and everything, I could see people really enjoying those on the sports mem side. So as I get on here and I complain all the time about there's certain parts of this hobby that I believe are going in the wrong direction. A lot of it has to do with new product distribution and let's dive into all the gambling garbage carnival game stuff, with repacks and breaking being like the main primary focus around distribution for new products, sports cards. It's absolutely insane to me. And it's not even just sports cards. Hell, we showed the Josh Luber, the ghost things, the ghost toys. They're doing stupid breaks for those too now. So everything's up for a break. Hell, you'll probably have limited edition Pop-Tarts. They'll be doing breaks on those too before long. It's just, God, it's so stupid. But there is one area where I think the hobby is actually trending pretty well, where you look at what's happening with PSA and what they're doing globally, the moves that they're making. They're also investing in tech. Nat Turner being a tech guy, they are using AI as part of their process, really for centering of cards. I think I heard Nat Turner say basically on an interview that when a grader essentially has kind of an AI thing that tells them right out of the gate where that centering lies. And I don't know if they can override it or if that's just what the centering is. I'm not exactly sure, but basically they've got assistance. They've got AI assistance on the centering side. And then they're also using AI for fraud detection, which we all like. And I think that that's only going to get better. We've talked about the stupid ass card cleaning BS that's been going on really probably for years and years and years. But man, it's been surging over the last 3, 4, 5 years as people are able to just make a lot more money when they've got a 10 over a 9, or if it's a vintage card, a 5 over a 2 or whatever. We're talking about thousands and tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars difference in price between grades. Of course, that's incentive for people to scrub them out and soak them for 30 days and mummify them, or whatever the hell they're going to do. And I just can't stand. These are kind of elements of the hobby that really get at me. But PSA, with its flaws, of course, not everything is going to be perfect. Not every process is going to be perfect. They're going to make mistakes. Stuff is going to fly through. Look, when you're grading 1.4 million cards in a month, there's bound to be things that do slip through the cracks, but I just like to see the effort. I like to see the effort with a company in the space. So as trading card grading gets more popular on a global scale, because keep in mind, that's a first office in Europe. There's not a grading company that has an office in Europe that's doing any sort of scale that the mainstream would be aware of. So now you have PSA that's really kind of moved into Asia and now kind of making their way over into Europe. Can they make some waves over in Europe? Can they kind of start that trend of people grading cards in Europe and continue to grow out third-party grading authentication on a global scale? These sorts of things are really only good for overall confidence that people are going to have in collectibles when they pay their good hard-earned money for something that has been third-party authenticated, graded by PSA. The goal there is on a global scale for there to just be more and more confidence in that entire process. And you're seeing it happen here with continued evolution. This is not a company that is resting on its laurels, even though they are number one by a large margin. And it's not even really close between the other companies. So friends, let me know your thoughts. PSA expanding the empire.
Here they come.
Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.